Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share, and play.
Defember 2022, hosted by 49 Dragonflies and Louise Heinzel. Today's prompts are packing, index cards, and raccoon. This is what I came up with. I decided I'd do a little concertina index card, and all I've done is I've stitched down the side and I've run over to collect the next index card. So really simple, just to add something else, and because I felt like doing my hole punch, I did a hole punch out of the top and bottom card as well, and I thought I'd just put over a little piece of tracing paper, and then I'm going to use that stamped rice paper, vellum paper, across the top. And then this is my packing, which is just a little box that I've cut down, and it's going to hold the little concertina index card booklet. Okay, so let's see let's see how I pulled it all together. Oh, and the raccoon I'm going to pop on the packaging. First up, to cover in those little holes, I'm putting a little bit of tracing paper down first and snipping it down, so quite simple really, and I love the effect. I was going to leave it just with the tracing paper and see the back of the printed vellum. However, I had these strips off the edge that I'd cut down, so I used them. But first, I'm just going to cut down the piece that I'm having on, I guess what you'd call the front. I did this long strip, and then I folded it in half and in half again to get the 4 sections, and I thought it would be nice just to tear those in between bits. So that's all I'm doing here, just tearing those down, and then I'm gluing them down onto the front of the card. So now I have all of my picture pieces ready to paste into my little index card booklet. So firstly, I just wanted to put something inside the windows. So I had this little birdie that was off the edge of that long piece, and then I put a little clock in the bottom. Again, really simple, but I really like the effect. So I think those 2 little circles ended up looking quite cute just because I felt like punching some holes. So now just as simple as inking around the edges and gluing down each of those 4 sections of the big long strip. Love how this came out. I love how it's, got that 4 section and the division in it. It's just so cool. Feels so nice, flipping and flapping it about and, doing it up and undoing it. It's, just cool. All right, so all I did now was I just inked around it, as you know that I'm apt to do, and that to me just made it look, a bit more finished. I like the different colours in the index cards. Normally they'd be a bit crisp for me, but doing this, it actually didn't feel like that at all. I thought it was fun. So anyhow, here I am just cutting up the little sleeve that I'm putting it in, the little pouch, just trimming it up, doing a little score line for where I'd like it to fold over, and then I just trim off the edge of that flap just to make sure that, it all sits nicely and that there's just enough room to see the raccoons on the little front cover bit. The first thing I did was I just wanted to cover up the package writing. So I just put over another strip of that same piece of vellum that I had, and then I put my little raccoons on the front. And gosh, so cute. This is one of the ones that I did on the wrong side of the photo paper. So if you look at Louise's images that she did up, they're actually a lot nicer and brighter when you print them out properly. I've reprinted some, haven't reprinted others. Anyhow, now I just wanted to make a bit of a closure, and of course I'll ink it all up again. So I had this little button, so I pulled out some thread. I made it a wax one just so that it didn't tear at the paper. Did as many lengths as I wanted around, put the thread through my little button. This is a button that I just covered in some book page. I think it was, Pam at the Paper Outpost where I first saw that trick. But lots of people use that trick. It's very clever to cover your buttons with, book page and all sorts of other things like that. I tied a double knot underneath the button before I put it on the card, just because I did want it to sit up a little bit so that I could wrap my cord around it. And now all I've got to do is I'm just punching some holes through, and then I can just tie the button on, and we're, pretty much finished. Did a bit of faffing around on this because after I punched it just with an awl, I realised that I did want it to be a little bit more sturdy behind that button, just because, it could be undone and done up quite a bit. So I put another little piece of card underneath it, and then I've just tied a double knot underneath, and just to keep it extra secure, I've just put a dot of glue in between before I completely tightened up the top part of that knot. So now it's just trimming off the edge of the piece of string, and then you'll see how it all does itself up together. Of course, I tested it, and then, I tell a fib. I forgot, I actually wanted to put some little beads on the bottom. So I had these lovely they're like little leaves. They're sort of a bone colour and, just really cute. So I popped them on. I just put a knot in between them to keep them so that they were going to sit in the, same place on the string. Snipped the edge, and now all done. So popping my, index card booklet inside my envelope that has that lovely string closure. Just easy to notch it off. I find that when I put a bead on the bottom, it works, quite well. So I'll just give you a closer look. That's how it all does. It's got the little raccoons on the front, and remember, that's the packaging. And then this is the index cards. So you can open it like a normal book, or you can obviously fold it right out. Isn't it fun? And as I said, all I did was literally just held the cards freehand and did a straight stitch down each side of the cards. So it's actually just the stitching that's holding the cards together. And there we have it. It's a little concertina. Wow, that's an easy way to make a concertina booklet, gotta say. So, next time I'm inking up cards and covering them in paint, I know what I can do with them now. I can make these little booklets. So there you go. Up he goes closed, wrapping round and round, and you can just have fun wrapping the string around. Just turning it round the button holds beautifully, and it's really not very thick at all. Just the thickness of a button, which is a nice thickness to pop in your journals. There we are, another Defemberember, day 16, all done.
I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!